Let's take a look at the chart action for Bitcoin. Okay, so here's what I've been looking at on Bitcoin, and here's what I was looking at in my last video. We'll go through some of the good things and some of the bad things that I'm kind of seeing. So in my last video, we were watching this uptrend going up like this, and I was saying if we could break out of this little box right here, which is the top of the 4-hour and the top of the daily candles, then we can get more confident on the next previous resistance somewhere around here at around 44.4k. But we actually got rejected right at this area and started trending down. We broke the trend line that I was watching going to the downside. So in my opinion, the question is now, how far are we going to go down? I'm still kind of looking at these orange levels, which are the previous bottoms on the 4-hour time frame. We have one at 33k, one at 35k, and one at 36.5k. The other thing I'm looking at is if we go to the daily time frame, we have support, support, support. Let's go ahead and do a trend line off those support levels. Maybe do a trend line something like this, and it's very possible that we come down, hit this trend line, and then get a bounce back to the upside. So when we come back down to this level, I might put an orange level somewhere right here, maybe a limit order, something like this. I don't know, maybe the bottom right here at around 37.8. Maybe it'll go a little bit higher. I'm just gonna watch this, and if we start getting a bounce, then I'll put in an order here or something like that. I think one thing we could look at right now is the resistance. We have resistance and resistance. Let's go ahead and do a trend line going to the downside, maybe something like this. So until we break this trend line going to the upside, it does look like we're trending down. We can delete this uptrend because we already broke it going to the downside. We could delete this box for now because we got rejected at it. So in my opinion, I would probably be looking maybe at this support and this support for possible bounce as well. Let's go ahead and copy and paste one of these orange lines, maybe something like this. And this kind of lines up, this previous support right here kind of lines up with this trend line over here, and this level is sitting around 38.4k. The other thing I wanted to look at is the moving averages. So let's go ahead and delete everything, and we'll go into the daily time frame. I'm watching this 9 moving average right here, and it looks like we're coming in and testing it right now. I think once we break this 9 moving average going to the downside, if we do, it's possible that we get support on it. It looks like we're already kind of getting a little bounce right now, or a little, it looks like we're holding on it right now. But if we break it going to the downside, then I'll get more confident on those orange levels that I had set up right here. The other thing that I was looking at is if we delete everything again and go to the weekly time frame. I've been watching this 9 moving average on the weekly time frame, and I was saying if we could close this candle above this 9 moving average, this would be a good sign. And what I want to see now is for us to stay above this 9 moving average right here. We still are above it, and this 9 moving average is sitting at around 39.6k. So I think if we could stay above it this week, or even if we just close this candle above it in general, we have 6 days and 7 hours to close it, then I think that's going to be a good sign as well. I do like the fact that we did close above it though. We had broken above it all these other weeks. We got wicks to the upside, but we weren't able to actually close the candle above the 9 moving average like we did last week. So let's see what happens this week. Are we going to close this candle above or below it? I think if we could close this candle above it, that's going to be a good signal. And like I said, the moving average right now is sitting at around 39.6k approximately. So I think this is a good sign, but I think us breaking this trend line going to the downside is a little bearish, or at least in the short term. It's possible that we come down and get a bounce over here. I think if we break this trend line right here going to the downside, then we can start looking at these other levels. And like I was talking about before, if we go back to the daily time frame, the reason I'm looking at these orange levels is because we came down and got wicks and got bounces back to the upside. So it's possible that we just break this and wick down and head back up. But if we really get a lot of volume, I'll be looking at this previous bottom over here sitting around 29.5k. I'm still on the daily time frame. The other thing I'm watching is we have resistance, resistance, and resistance. Let's go ahead and do a trend line going across something like this. I've been talking about this for a while. Until we break this trend line going to the upside, then it's possible that we're just kind of going to be trading something like this. We didn't come up on these two. We didn't come up to the top. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting. We're still in this channel though. We haven't broken to the downside or to the upside yet. Once we break to the upside, then I'll be much more bullish. If we break to the downside, then I'll start looking at this previous bottom over here around 29.5K. And these bottoms of the 4-hour time frame, like I was saying, maybe we just get wicks down and we don't have to go all the way down to 29.5. I think the main thing that I'm watching right now is the 4-hour time frame and this downtrend, like this resistance, downtrend. If we could break this downtrend going to the upside, maybe we're going to see a change in direction and we can start maybe looking for that bounce going back to the upside. Maybe we could come back, retest this area right here. If we break through that, then we could get more confident on the 44K level. If we could break 44.4K right up here, then maybe we could come up to this trend line, and this is around 45,000. If we could break 45, then I'm going to get much more bullish. Right now, we're testing the moving average on the daily time frame. Let's see if we break through this or if we hold support, and maybe we can break out from right there. I talked about moving averages in this video. Check out this video right here. I go more in depth about the moving averages and how to use them. If you guys liked the video, hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.